last lesson in the unit is converting between systems. Now, in Canada, this is something that we have to be able to do because we deal with the Americans, and they will not accept the metric system other than their sciences. So, in Canada, we use the metric system, while in the United States, they use the imperial system, and therefore, some of you are probably going to get a job where you're going to deal with American people or American companies, and you're going to have to be able to speak their language. And their language is feet and inches and pounds and things like that. So you're going to have to be able to convert what you know into what they know. So there's two things that are important today. Um, this idea of matching units. So if we're going to go from metric to imperial or vice versa, there's a basic rule of thumb. We either change systems at the very start and we work our way along the other system, or we work in the first system, we get close to a measure, and then we jump at that point. So this is what I mean by matching units. Millimeters and centimeters are small units in the metric system, and inches are the smallest unit in the imperial system. Feet and yards are a bit bigger, and meter is that middle one that we just have to worry about. Oh, okay, so feet and yards in this system are close to meters in the metric system. And finally, a mile is the biggest unit we worry about in imperial, and a kilometer is the biggest unit we worry about in the metric system. So we need to understand like what units are big in each system, what units are small, and what kind of matches. And then on the right hand side in the notes, you see these exact conversions and approximate conversions, and usually it doesn't matter which one you use. So these ones right here, an inch is 2.54 centimeters. That's one that kind of happens a lot. But this one down here, a mile, is about 1.609 kilometers. That's also used a lot. And this one as well, 1 kilometer is 0.6214 miles. So even though they're approximate, not meaning not exactly perfect, they're really, really close. And these are ones that you're going to use more than the others. But again, as I've been suggesting all along, you need to have these written down somewhere, so you're not thinking about them too much. You're not rummaging around trying to figure out what's what. Have them beside you. So here's our first example. And again, it's going to be really quick. I'm only going to do 3 examples. But here's our key idea. Our key idea is at some point you need to jump. So I've been using the word bounce as we've gone through this unit. At some point you're going to need to jump systems. And again, there's 2 ideas. You either jump right away or you jump when you get close. And I'm going to jump when we have like measures. So if I want to change meters to inches, well, there's not a nice conversion, meters to inches, but there is a nice conversion, centimeters to inches. So that's going to be my jump point, centimeters to inches. But I'm going to do it 2 different ways. I'm going to the first way I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right away. And the second way is I'm going to jump when I get close. So again, meters are not close to inches. Centimeters are close to inches, but meters are also close to yards. So again, 2 different methods. So the first method is I'm going to jump right away. I'm going to go from the imperial or from the metric system to imperial. So in doing this one right here, I'm going to do unit analysis because I don't have enough room. So in unit analysis, I want to get rid of the meters, and I want to use my conversion that gets me out of the metric system right away. And I do have one up above. 1 yard is equal to 0.9144 meters. So that's what I'm going to use. So this one, method number 1, we jump right away. And if we jump right away, then now we're in that imperial system like we were last class. And again, unit analysis is canceling out the units I don't want. And when I do that multiplication, or I'll do that multiplication and I'll do it for you. So we have 156 times bracket 1 divided by 0.949144. And this is all you do on your calculator and hit enter, and you get 170.6. So this equals 170.6 yards. Now we are in the imperial system. And in the imperial system, we go yards to feet to inches. So 160, 106, 170.6 yards. I want to get rid of the yards now, and I'm going to go to feet, 3 feet in 1 yard. And again, my yards go away. I don't want feet, I want inches, so I need to get rid of feet. And I do have a relationship where we have 12 inches in 1 foot. And again, when we get out our calculator and we do that multiplication, we end up with 6141.7 inches. So 156 meters is 6,141.7 inches. And in this method, what I did is I got out of the metric system right away, and I used a nice relationship, a nice matching set. Yards and meters are very, very close. They're almost the same, and I got that. Well, our other method is to stay in the system until we get a matching unit. So again, as I said, a matching unit to an inch is a centimeter. They're both pretty small. So in this method right here, what we're going to do is we're going to get close to the unit we want. And again, the unit we want is not meters. The unit we want is centimeters. And there are 100 centimeters in a meter. So when we do our unit analysis, we get 15,600 centimeters. And again, there's a nice relationship above. There are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. So we are going to, again, now we're going to jump. We're still in the metric system when we're in centimeters, but now we have a nice jump point. And again, in my unit analysis, I want to get rid of centimeters and I want to replace it with inches. And we know that there are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. Our units cancel out. The leftover one is the one I want. And when you multiply 15,600, 1,500, 600 times bracket 1 divided by 2.54, you get 6,141.7 inches. So we get the exact same answer. So it's up to you. It's up to you to decide, well, which one do you like better? Do you like getting out of the system first, or getting close? That's basically the idea. So those are big ideas, and now I'm just going to go over a couple of examples to illustrate those ideas. Now again, I'm not going to do these two different ways. I'm going to choose one, and I want to convert centimeters to feet. And again, centimeters is the metric system, feet is the imperial system. So my matching units, again, the ones that are kind of close, are centimeters and inches. So I'm going to jump out of the metric system right at the start. I'm going to go to inches, and we know there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So in this idea right here, we start off with 4.75 centimeters, which is basically the width of your 4 fingers. 4.5 centimeters, that's about it, pretty close. And again, I don't want centimeters, I want inches, because I eventually want feet, and we know in 1 inch we have 2.54 centimeters. And again, with our unit analysis, the centimeters cancel out, and what we're left with is 1.77 inches. So 4.5 centimeters is 1.77 inches, but now we want to know how many feet is 1.77 inches. And again, in our unit analysis, I want to get rid of inch. I know the relationship to feet. 1 foot is 12 inches. And again, there's my canceling out my units, and my leftover unit is feet. The leftover unit is feet. And when you use your calculator, you get 0.15 feet. So again, that would make sense. Look at your ruler. Look at 1.77 is less than 2, and 2 inches is a part of that entire ruler length. So it has to be a decimal or a fraction less than 1. Okay, one last question. And again, this is a funny one because, when American drivers come across the border and they go, wow, they see that, they see the speed on our freeway. A lot of them are going up to Whistler and they go, oh, 100. And if they think they can go 100 miles an hour when it's supposed to be 100 kilometers an hour, there's going to be a lot of American tourists getting speeding tickets. Our matching units are kilometers. Our matching units are kilometers and miles. They're both the big measure. Now, this question's a little bit different because we have 2 units. We have miles per hour. But in this example, we want to keep hours. We want to keep our hours. So in the first part of this question, we don't have to do anything. And we do have a nice relationship between miles. Again, miles have to be on the bottom because we want to get rid of them. And in our notes above, we have a nice relationship between kilometers and miles. And what happens is our miles go away, but our hours don't. And when we do this calculation, we're going to get kilometers on top and we're going to get hours on the bottom. And when you do that multiplication, you get 112.63 kilometers per hour. So 70 miles an hour is equal to 112.63. And the nice thing about unit analysis is if I have an extra unit and I don't want to get rid of it, well, you leave it alone and it doesn't get canceled out. So now what we want to do is we want to convert 112.63 kilometers per hour to meters per second. So this is where we're going to have to get rid of both of them. So here's our kilometers per hour, and again, we assume it's per 1 hour, and all we have to do is focus on 1 unit at a time. So the first one I'm going to focus on is kilometers, and we have a simple relationship between kilometers and meters. Remember, we want meters per second. That is going to be our final answer. So I need to get rid of kilometers, and it doesn't matter which one you get rid of first, but I'm going to get rid of kilometers first. And we have a relationship there, 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. And in canceling out my kilometers, I have my meters, and I have my meters, so I'm happy. But now I got to get rid of hours, and I got to change hours into seconds. Well, you guys know that there's a relationship between an hour and minutes in an hour. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So again, what we're doing is we're doing unit analysis and we've gotten rid of hours. I don't care about meters anymore because it's already taken care of. But if I left it like this would be meters per minute. I don't want meters per minute. I want meters per second. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to convert again. I'm going to have to get rid of the minutes. And I think you all know that in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. With our unit analysis, I've gotten rid of everything except what I want. And then I get out my calculator and I punch those all in. So let's do that really quickly. We punch it all in. We get 112.63 times 1,000 over 1. Well, I'm just going to multiply by 1,000 times bracket 1 divided by 60. Close my bracket again. And again, multiply by 1 divided by 60. So if we enter this exactly as we see it into our calculator, we end up with 31.3. So 70 miles an hour, which, for us might You might go, well, I can't really picture that, but we can all kind of picture 110 kilometers an hour. That's how fast you can go on the highway once you get out of town. You're going 31.3 meters per second. Think about that on the football field. Um, you're going 30, you're going almost a third of a football field every second. That's pretty quick.